Hey everyone, happy new year, happy 2026. It is your favorite shit talker, investment realtor, comedian, clairvoyant, intuitive, energy, healer, and life coach, Yael Meisels. How in God's name in the hell are you? I hope you are great. Hope you're feeling good. Hope you were responsible yesterday. The children and the cats and I were in the bed no later than 11. We were not, believe it or not, even though I'm only 41, you guys, this may shock you. I have like the charm of someone who's like 97, like a crotchety old lady that's like, get off my lawn. So, um, shocking, we were not out partying like rock stars last night. What a surprise, right? Anyway, for our first episode of the Kosher Intuitive in 2026, I'm going to talk a little bit about a situation that was brought to my attention about 6 weeks ago. And I'll tell you the truth. You guys, I spent a long time in the entertainment comedy scene. I left New York City about in August, I think it was 8 years ago. So I was probably like at my coolest about 10 years ago when it came to New York City stand-up. And I will tell you, I made some interesting connections. Um, like, let's just be honest. There's a comedy show called The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, who's a Jewish mother. Come on, that doesn't sound somewhat like me. Like, people have actually asked me over the years, do you think your identity was stolen to put that show out? And I said, absolutely. It's just too uncanny because I was a rather picking up traction comic 10 years ago in New York City. It's just the irony and the synchronicities are so shocking, but that's not what we're talking about today. But there really is, all right, something extremely sinister, and this gets into conspiracy theories, which I've been promising we're going to do on this show, is get into conspiracy theories. So today we are actually touching on something that's a little bit of a conspiracy theory involving, you guys, listen, I know I'm never going to win a beauty competition, and I'm okay with that. Um, but when I saw this woman, I was shocked to my core at how, I hate to use the word ugly, but she was so mishkabobbled from demonic possession and witchcraft. It was like you could smell rotten bodies looking at her face. All right. And I am talking about the fashion icon, Michelle LeMay, who's married to some creepy ass, I don't know, some creepy ass gay man. Go figure, right? They live out in France. Anyway, so this was brought to my attention by one of my old friends from the elite circles in New York that I used to run with, that I know these people now. I wouldn't say we're particularly close, but they obviously have a way to reach me in the event of an emergency. And apparently, involving Michel Lemay, there was about a month ago an emergency. And I took a look at this situation and I was like, no, I whenever I go into conspiracy theories, and you guys have to understand something, this is a clairvoyant, intuitive business. Do I focus on predictions of the future and things of that nature? No. But are there people that are wealthy enough to hire me to debunk the conspiracy theories that are important to them? Yes, there are. Now, you can hire me to do whatever you need me to do, as long as it's kosher, and I know how to do it. I'm gonna do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I I would rather you educate yourself with a kosher resource, with a person who knows what in the hell they're doing, um, than educate yourself in a non-kosher resource. So listen, I always tell people I don't block people, because even if I'm not cool with you today, like, I know, God forbid, but like 10 years from now, what if you had a kid go missing? What if your wife went missing? What if uh, somebody stole large sums of money from you? Everybody that knows me, whether I'm cool with you or not, in the event of an emergency, I look at it like this. The abilities that I have to help people. Hold on, it's 11:11. Everyone, let's make our first wish of 11:11. All right. Anyway, so I'll pretty much work for as long as it's something I'm confident I can do. And debunking conspiracy theories is something I've done for clients, and it's pretty amazing to see that some of these conspiracy theories, like, just to give you guys an example, the Clintons. Now, I've been asked by more than one client in my career if the Clintons are good or bad. Ladies and gentlemen, they're bad. Real bad. Like, I was in awe to see that I was getting positive, intuitive hits, right, on egregious allegations regarding the Clintons, that I'm like, this is almost too far-fetched for me. And like, even though I'm a paranormal investigator, that's just it. I'm a paranormal investigator on top of being clairvoyant and energy healer. I'll investigate any situation. And the bottom line is, there are people like Michelle LeMay out in Paris, who's old and ugly, that really are involved in dark, black, satanic blood magic. They really are. And it's interesting to me to see the degree of rational people coming into the fold, or the people that would say, they typically wouldn't believe in something like this, but they're kind of like coming into the paranormal understanding fold now, because so many things are happening on this planet that it has become undeniable that there is a God. It has become undeniable there is energy swirling this earth, kicking out evil. And we're seeing in real time almost like what God deems as evil. And when I took a look at this ugly as sin troll under the bridge, Michel Lemire, I smelled burning bodies, as that often doesn't happen unless there's like real evil. I don't pick up smells in an intuitive state unless it's like really driving the point home and the smell is really significant to what the person is doing. And I'll be honest with you, I saw this woman doing grotesque things with dead bodies. Grotesque things. Eating human flesh, drinking blood, doing satanic rituals. You know, You guys have to understand something. There's something called remote viewing. Not every remote viewer, and I happen to be pretty damn good at remote viewing. That's right, Mia. She is scary and gross. She's as gross as they come. And girlfriend, you've known me quite a while. You know that I accept beautiful women don't have a standard look, right? You know that I accept that beautiful women are all shapes and sizes, all ages. It's your light inside that enhances your beauty. But what if there is no light inside, right? What if there is no light inside? When this elite contact of mine reached out to me, they were genuinely, oh, thank you so much. They were genuinely scared of what this woman was doing. And I mean, you look into some of the things that you know about her publicly, that are seen publicly, and it's like I just can't understand why somebody would dress like that. Somebody would act like clearly it's a statement. Like, you know, CERN, NASA. Let's take these two companies, these two space or physics and space programs companies, whatever the hell you want to call them, as an example. Now, CERN fucked around and found out. NASA's fucked around and found out. Have you noticed how the issues out of SpaceX, SpaceIL, that's the Israel, you just don't have conspiracy theories coming flooding out of these organizations. Well, the reason is they didn't need to fuck around and find out because they know that CERN and NASA both fucked around and found out, and they basically got that information and didn't need to go down that rabbit hole of shit that the other two did. Now, in my day, when I was much younger and probably a little hotter, although I think I look pretty damn good for 41. But anywho, I dated a couple of people. You guys have to understand something. I am a math and science nerd, whiz, that just didn't have the education exposure that colleagues and friends of mine did. And at the time that friends of mine were becoming physicists and becoming doctors, I was living for survival in New York City and converting to Judaism, just trying to break free from being the product of an abusive environment. Education, just unfortunately, it wasn't, it couldn't be a priority. Thank God I have a great career. I'm proud of my career. I'm thankful for it. I'm extremely blessed for the careers that I do have. But, if I could do things over again, I probably would do something in the scientific space. I probably would. I probably would do something with math knowledge, things of that nature. But one thing that people often don't know about me is that I may be friends with all sorts of hokey people, but when it comes to someone to share a bed with, I really like the math and science nerds. I really do. I do. I'm a genius freak. I really do. You're not going to find me with an idiot man. They're not hot to me. I'm serious. I'd almost go for someone on the autism spectrum because I'm like, he's probably got an IQ that's at least 150. I bet he's fucking insane. Like, you got to understand, I put together an organization for people experiencing rare phenomena. I have doctors in this group. I have physicists in this group. I have people who went to Harvard in this group. I have energy healers in this group. People experiencing rare phenomena. If you have an IQ of 170, you are so smart at that point, and using such a large percentage of your brain, you are definitely experiencing rare phenomena. You might not even be aware that you're experiencing rare phenomena, but you are. So I have made a support group that has spread its olive branches over the years for some of the smartest and most gifted, talented people alive. I have a friend of mine who has probably about a 200 IQ who invents weapons. What? And I like he'll show me a picture of something and I'm like, I see a ball. And he'll be like, oh, but the ball does and then at the end of the story, the ball is a magnetic energy bomb or something fucking crazy. Oh, Mia says her husband's on the spectrum. I'm telling you, they make good husbands. They make good husbands. You've been with him for quite a while. You stuck around. I bet he's a decent ass husband. They make good husbands, the spectrum dudes. They do. Um, but what I have a hard time accepting, I believe that Mia's IQ is 163. Now that is believable. That is believable. I don't have the official number yet of myself. My boys had an IQ test shortly after they turned 8, and at the time their IQs were 120 and 116. Um, they are now approaching 14. So my goal is to go back to that doctor and get IQ tests done for all of us and enter into Mensa because the doctor knows we're all batting with it over a $130. She knows that. And Mensa, it's hilarious. They lowered their standards. Now you have to have an IQ of 130, which like hello, 130 IQ is still really high. And like I associate myself with so many people who just have high IQs because of my club, the Jewish Illuminati organization, whatever you want to call it. Because I associate myself with so many people just in my sphere, um, I'm not really conversing at any given point with someone who's not a genius. And it's interesting because, like, the energy of someone who's not a genius, and I want to just also make clear when I say the energy of someone who's not a genius, that is not a criticism. Because a genius, a true genius, has probably been through a great deal of adversary, a great deal of struggle. So with an incredibly high IQ usually comes an incredible amount of trauma. I've met very few people in my day that have IQs that are above 140, that haven't seen horror. Um, yeah, I know, right? My boys are almost 14 years old. I know. I was actually, though, concerned when I got their IQ test back and they were so high and being so young. I actually asked if I had done something wrong, and the doctor's like, no, it's hereditary. And I was like, oh, I didn't know that. All right, that's good news then. So, people in the elite spheres get themselves involved sometimes in some dangerous, sticky things. All right. Um, I've met elite people that are involved in shitty things. I've been to parties full of famous people where, I'm sure at the witching hour when the people like me leave, they do all sorts of gross things, like Illuminati orgies and things like that. Like, you got to understand something. These things exist. Just because the yous and me's who take our kids to school, go to the gym, adhere to reasonable, normal religious practices, go to Sephora and Ulta with our friends, go to lunch, get coffee. Like the people like us who aren't fucking nuts, all right, who live normal lives, can almost like not fathom that people actually do go to Illuminati sex orgies to like, I don't know, get power pumped into their yunty. I don't know what I don't know. I was born this way. You get me? I was born this way. And apparently I've heard in the past that there's some elite people that would be known about that have wanted to know about me and my abilities because they are so rare and I am so different than what they're used to. Um, they're usually expecting me to say that I am involved religiously in some form of occultism. People are shocked to shit when I tell them, oh no, I'm a Torah observant Jew. I just understand mysticism and magic the way other people understand math and science. I understand math and science too, but I understand mysticism and magic the way other people just naturally know how to organize a space, build a structure, whatever the case may be. But there were some people who got in a situation with Michelle LeMay, and I got the women from the Jewish Illuminati on the phone, and I said, listen, is this woman a threat? And everybody agreed she was. And we cut off the energy source to her powers. We cut off and reversed all of the dark magic and spells this woman did. Now, this took us about an hour's worth of work, but considering the type of garbage and magic this woman does, for a group of people to kick her ass in an hour, before dinner, it's pretty fucking impressive. The moral of the story is, all right, like Liam Neeson in Taken, I too have a very specific set of skills that people with a whole lot of money and a whole lot of power know about. And they know that if they are being threatened or harmed, especially by way of supernatural means, I will get involved and I will handle it. We cannot allow ourselves in the gifted community to get caught up in occultism. Because just because I can unravel your occult magic mess and I can fix it, it doesn't mean I should have to. And you can't get into bed for real with people, and this is going out to the people who follow me who are in the elite circles that have millions of dollars that are important to themselves and their communities. You can't get involved in this shit and think it's not going to backfire on you. I mean, blood magic has it works. It works. They cultivate energy sources and feed it to demons and blah, 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 blah. You guys have to be very, very careful and take into heavy consideration that you're messing with something that is often grossly misunderstood. Most people following witchcraft and some sort of paganism, occultism, are usually, unless they're a Frankist, they're usually following some sort of, believe it or not, what is it, a reverse of Christian doctrine. Whatever the Christians say, they say the opposite about Satan and fallen angels. Shit. Like, these people believe in such narishkeit, all right? And the demonic forces that they feed when they do these egregious things, have spirit cooking, drinking blood, orgies, all of this gross shit. When they do these things, they cultivate energy and feed it to that demon that then gives them energetic powers to do egregious things. You know how many people, and I remember reading about this years before Jeffrey Epstein died. Gosh, I want to say it was at least a year before he died, because I was still in my apartment in the Jewish community then, and that I haven't lived there in 7 years this summer. So, Jeffrey Epstein used to threaten people with witchcraft and sorcery. You guys, what we're wasting time not believing in or debating on whether or not it exists. Our government knows this shit exists. Our government, I totally believe, knows the identity of Mashiach. Our government knows more than they have ever shared with us. And I actually foresee there being like a reckoning where the government is going to have to share these things because it's going to be so undeniable, especially with the coming of Mashiach. And what I think is interesting is I think the government should, nobody asked me, but, in case they're watching again, hey, government, I think you should tell us the truth because if I'm right and the Holy Messiah just busts through the door like a fucking, like a SWAT team, you know what I'm saying? Like a one man SWAT, a one unit SWAT team. Shit's gonna go down. Shit's gonna go down. So I'm really hoping and praying that the government shares with us their information because there's just nothing you're gonna say to me that's gonna make me believe that our government doesn't have accurate biblical knowledge of what is really occurring and going to occur on the planet. One of the biggest reasons that I believe this is even 20 plus years ago when Saddam Hussein, I know I've been joking a lot about Saddam Hussein recently. I'm sorry, there's something about that horrible man that I find hilarious. But in Saddam Hussein's personal library in his huge house, in Saddam's house, he had ancient scrolls and Jewish texts. And Saddam Hussein had an understanding of Jewish mysticism that most rabbis on this planet will never have. All right? You guys, we got to think outside of the box because these people that do this global shit to run the world and to have global power and to have global influence, they do awful things. Michelle LeMay is an evil, garbage, witchcraft, blood-sucking, demonic shell of life that I'm sure at 82 years old, I'm hoping that bitch will croak any day from just old age and God's plan. All right? Because the things that this woman has done in her life are egregious. And if this woman wants to hurt you with magic, she will try. And I know people that she has tried, and hence that's how I got involved. These were not people that I have, been close with in quite some time, but like I said in the beginning of this show, I know what I do. I know how rare it is. I know there could be a time, even if we're not cool today, I know there could be a time down the line you might need me. I know there might be a time down the line I need you. So I always keep it kosher because you never know when you can help somebody and when they can help you. And when we took care of the Michelle LeMay problem, this was helping a very old friend in a time of crisis and in a time of need. And you guys just have to understand the affinity and the lust to be famous is it's really powerful. It's really, really powerful. And people do things for fame, money, and power that people like you and I are like, no, nobody really does that. But yeah, they really do. They really, really do. There's lots of truth to conspiracy theories. And starting on our conspiracy theories, subject, I figured let's start with Michelle LeMay because we had a personal, the Jewish Illuminati had a personal call to deal with this because this woman is so evil. She really is involved in all sorts. She basically put a spell on someone I know. And we had to unravel that spell. And it was done grossly. Like, I'm looking at this stuff and I'm just going, wow, this woman really, they believe in something when they're doing something like this. And I will tell you, I said this on my old podcast years ago, people who have incredible wealth, incredible fame, incredible power, usually on the low or in pub, depending on what kind of person they are, have an incredible amount of faith in something. All right? And usually the more money and power they have until very, very recently. Happy New Year, Yankee. Usually the more power they have until very, very recently came from doing egregious, disgusting exchanges with demonic forces to gain said power. So if the Messiah is here and Hashem has stepped in, believe me, it's going to change the narrative a lot for the satanic community and who they are able to bow to and what they can accomplish with that bowing. So in any event, that was our show discussing the first topic of conspiracy theories. If there are any conspiracy theories that you would like me to debunk or look into, please reach out. And as always, if anyone would like to book a private session, you are welcome to reach out to me at yaelmeisels@gmail.com. Remember that all consultations are free. And one thing I will say, and I think I'm just going to do this at the end of every show, is we here at the Kosher Intuitive and my network of people work day and night, endless hours sometimes, for people in need, families in need, people in crisis. This company gives hundreds into the thousands of discounts and reduced sessions in a given year. If any of the work that we do, whether it be helping people with missing families members, helping someone counseling through a divorce, through healing and overcoming childhood trauma, sex abuse trauma, things of that nature. These are the types of problems that we eradicate and heal here at the Kosher Intuitive and my team. If you feel inclined to donate to this organization or to this company, please do. We can help. We help so many people, and it just helps us continue to help the community, hoping that we are going into a very blessed and very fruitful year. May we all find our spouse this year. May love and peace and shalom and bracha be restored to all marriages. May everyone be where they're supposed to be. May money just fall from the sky into our lives, into our lives and into our pockets, and have financial comfort, health, and wealth, and everything good. Please, God, give us the very, very best as we go into 2026 and beyond. And may we witness to see the standing of the Beis Hamikdash and the reveal of the Holy Messiah. Thank you so much, and you guys have a wonderful New Year's Day. And go buy a bunch of shit like we're going to do because it's still on sale. Have a great day.